When the moon falls into a partner's seventh house in Synastry, it creates one of the most classic marriage placements in astrology. The seventh house represents the other, our committed partnerships, legal unions, and the qualities we seek in a lifelong companion. When your moon lands here, you aren't just a fleeting interest, you feel like the missing piece of your partner's puzzle. The immediate magnetic pull. From the moment you meet, there is an undeniable sense of familiarity. The moon person, the one whose moon it is, naturally embodies the emotional qualities that the house person, the one whose seventh house is being occupied, finds attractive and necessary for balance. For the house person, the moon person feels like home in a very public, structured way. While the fourth house is the private home, the seventh house is the person you want to stand next to at a dinner party or walk down the aisle with. The house person often projects their ideal of a nurturing, supportive partner onto the moon person, which can be incredibly flattering but also carries a weight of expectation. Emotional mirroring and vulnerability. In this dynamic, the moon person is hypersensitive to the house person's needs. You will likely find yourself anticipating their moods before they even speak. Because the seventh house is the house of balance, traditionally ruled by Libra, the moon person often takes on the role of the emotional stabilizer. If the house person is stressed, the moon person feels an instinctive urge to soothe them to restore the harmony of us. This creates a beautiful feedback loop of care, but it can also lead to a we identity where individual needs get blurred. You might find yourself saying we more often than I quite early in the relationship. The shadow side, dependency and projections. No placement is without its hurdles. Because the seventh house is also the house of open enemies, there is a risk of emotional projection. If the house person hasn't done their own inner work, they might blame the moon person for their own fluctuating moods. The moon person, in their quest to be the perfect partner, might suppress their own needs to keep the peace. There can be a chameleon effect where the moon person adapts so thoroughly to the house person's environment that they lose their own emotional North Star. Furthermore, because this placement feels so right, the fear of losing the connection can lead to clinginess or an over-reliance on the relationship for emotional validation. Long-term potential. In the long run, this is a glue placement. It provides the emotional longevity needed to weather the storms of life. You don't just love each other, you need each other in a way that feels organic rather than forced. The moon person provides the heartbeat of the relationship, while the house person provides the framework and the invitation to stay. It is common to see this in the charts of couples who have been married for decades because it suggests that the way one person processes their feelings is exactly what the other person needs to feel complete. A note on context: to get the full picture, it's helpful to look at the sign the moon is in. For example, a moon in Capricorn in the seventh house will show love through stability and acts of service, whereas a moon in Pisces will show it through deep spiritual and emotional merging. To understand how the moon in the seventh house manifests, we have to look at the flavor of the emotional energy being brought into the partnership. Here is a brief look at how each sign influences the specific synastry placement. Aries, this brings an energetic, pioneer vibe to the union. The moon person is protective and assertive about the relationship, though they may react impulsively to any perceived threats to the partnership's harmony. Taurus, one of the most stable placements. There is a deep need for physical comfort, financial security, and routine. The house person finds the moon person incredibly grounding and reliable. Gemini, the partnership is built on communication. Emotions are processed through talk, humor, and intellectual curiosity. The house person feels emotionally fed when the moon person shares ideas and keeps life varied. Cancer, here, the moon is in its home sign, making the nurturing qualities hyperpotent. This is the ultimate caretaker dynamic. The emotional bond is psychic, protective, and deeply domestic. Leo, this adds a flair for the dramatic and a need for mutual adoration. The moon person feels a deep emotional need to be their partner's shining star, and the house person often views them with great pride. Virgo, love is expressed through acts of service and attention to detail. The moon person shows they care by fixing things and organizing the house person's life, creating a very functional, supportive bond. Libra, highly romantic and focused on equality. The moon person is naturally attuned to the house person's needs, striving for a relationship that is aesthetically and emotionally perfect. Scorpio, intense, transformative, and deeply private. The moon person seeks total emotional merging. The house person may feel seen to their very core, which can be both healing and intimidating. Sagittarius, the relationship feels like an adventure. The moon person brings a sense of freedom and philosophy to the partnership, encouraging the house person to grow and explore the world. Capricorn, a very serious, old soul connection. The moon person expresses care through responsibility and long-term planning. It may feel less mushy, but it is built to last a lifetime. Aquarius, this pair values friendship and intellectual space. The moon person provides emotional support by being the house person's best friend, prioritizing logic and shared social causes over raw sentimentality. Pisces, a deeply spiritual and empathetic connection. The moon person often feels what the house person is feeling before they even say it. There is a soulmate quality that transcends the physical world. Subscribe to Synastry Venus and be one click away from checking your love compatibility.